Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brad. We're here unboxing, opening up, and showing off more of the G.I. Joe classified figures. This is Snake Eyes. I know so many of you are probably excited and waiting for this figure because this is the one I've been most excited about. Snake Eyes is one of the coolest G.I. Joes. Growing up, I loved the character. As I said in previous videos, I actually not sure if I had a figure of his. I think I did. I vaguely think I did because I kind of remember having one with its finger broken off, like I broke off the thumb or something like that. So I think I did have one because that kind of rings a bell. All right, so packaging, just like the Roadblock figure. The art, of course, stands out. Gorgeous art on all sides. Just really cool packaging. You know, somewhat evokes the original with the great design and art, which was something I loved as a kid and growing up. As an adult, I appreciate it even more so. So let's open up. We're going to show off the figure itself. Lots of extras on this one. Some really, really cool stuff. Roadblocks I wasn't the biggest fan of as far as the extras, but Snake Eyes seems to have to be where it's at as far as the weapons it comes with. We got swords, we got rifles, it looks like there's a silencer, backpack, just loaded up to go in, kick some butt. Alright, so we're going to go through my normal process of evaluating figures. First and foremost, I always like to just see, does the figure stand on its own? So we do this nice stand test. Not a whole lot of fiddling to make that happen, and the figure stands on its own pretty well. So that's pretty good, and in not like a super awkward position. So bonus on that. Let's go with the joint test. Feet, we go side to side, up and down. The actual strength of the joint is pretty solid. Upper or lower leg, twist side to side. Knee. Ooh, it looks like it's double jointed, but I'm actually, there we go. A little bit stiff, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Double jointed, absolutely. The hip kind of reminds me of the old school ball and joint and rubber that they used to have as far as movement. At the waist, maybe a little bit weird. He kind of bends backwards. It's kind of odd. Could probably do some really cool positions with it, but that, as far as movement, is a little strange. But it also allows him to move forward a lot, just backwards, it seems like. Arm, all right, we'll start with the wrist. Good movement that we'd expect. Up, down. Elbow is also double jointed. Upper arm does have some twist to it. And then shoulders, full movement as well. And then finally, we got the head, up, down, good movement. Overall, pretty solid. This interesting figure is the joints feel very clicky to me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It gives a little bit of a stiff feel to it, and I just don't feel like I'm going to tear it apart. So again, not a bad thing at all. Generally pretty good. All right, so let's talk design of the character. Obviously, Stealth Black has got the colors down. Not much coloring here, which is exactly what I want. Boots look pretty decent. There's a little bit of detail on the sides. Got the classic pegs underneath. The knees are kind of a plastic compared to the pants, which is actually kind of interesting. Is that it's a different material, which means they want different stuff. So the knees look more like plastic. Armored knee pads. Now, yeah, I'd say armored knee pads, where the pants themselves kind of feel like utility, like something army, someone in the army would wear. Also really interesting is that the gun holsters and knife holster on the side are loose. These aren't things that are built in. You can actually twist them around a little bit. I don't know how well we can see that. And then the belt is also very, very loose as well. Nice texture on all of them. I do really like the detail of the clips. You can actually see kind of where you'd put on the top and like unclip them. So it's actually a really small detail, but really nice detail. Okay, so maybe the only thing that I would dislike so far is the grenades. I wish there was maybe a little bit of coloring on the grenades. But that's about it that I'm noticing. The armor for the chest looks really nice. Some great detail. It's not just, you know, flat black. We kind of see like little rivets, and there's some detail gone into it. There's some line work around the sides and the front, which actually look pretty good, and some texturing. And you can actually see like a rivet. I don't know how well it's going to come off, but there's like a rivet that holds, or a button that holds the armor on. And then, of course, the arm pouch, because, you know, it's all about pouches with G.I. Joe. Pouch on the arm, just like the legs, they're not molded on, so they are a little bit loose, which is, again, not a bad thing because it will help you as far as posing. And then, of course, the iconic mask, which seems to be more designed, I would say, off of the film. Like, it seems to be a blend of the original and the film together. It looks good, though. Like, this is actually a pretty solid design overall. So the details on this is really impressive. I think the only thing that I'm a little bit bummed about is the grenades are just kind of flat black, which I kind of understand if you're like a stealth person. You don't want tons of things showing off, but you got metal here, like they're silver. The grenades should have a little bit, like maybe at least the pins. Small detail, but you know, it does stand out to me. So let's start going through the figure itself. So just like old school G.I. Joe, there is a hole in the back where you can put in his backpack, which again, we'll talk about the detail on that. Backpacks look pretty good. We got a whole bunch of pouches, a nice clasp, but the clasp has that same detail as we see on the figure itself, with like the sides that you can actually, like, you can't do it on the figure, but, you know, if it was real, you'd be able to unhook the clasp. And again, like a lot of texture. It looks like it's wrinkled, that there's some layers to it, which is really, really nice. Let's do a stand test now with the backpack, because it's now got some weight. Stands up pretty well. All right, so now it's all about the swords. Of course, we're gonna bust out the sword first and work our way up. What's kind of cool, as I've noticed, is on the side of the backpack is a spot for the sword. So you can go, or the sword holder. So you can go put it on either his back itself or connect it to the backpack, which I think is pretty cool. Small detail, but it's a nice detail, and the sword goes in perfectly. Not any issue at all. It's, of course, got the Clan of Scani. It's the Scani, right? Is on the side. And let's test out how well it does in his hand. So this was the issue we had with Roadblock, is that the hands are a little fiddly to get stuff in. So let's see if the whole sword fits in this one a little bit better. So it's not the easiest to get weapons in these hands. Like, if I'm missing something, please let me know. But I feel like I'm not missing something, and I'm not a complete idiot of putting weapons in toys' hands. So clearly I feel like I'm missing something of ease. But someone else in our previous video said that they weren't the biggest fan of the hands for Roadblock. So I think overall maybe the figures would have benefited from extra hands to make it easier to get some of these weapons in. There we go. So after a lot of fiddling, I was able to get the hands in, or get the sword in. So far, pretty cool. Alright, so now we've gone from sword, which the sword has got, it's really interesting. It's a very interesting design. If someone knows something specifically about why they went with that design, I find it kind of fascinating, because it's not just a straight up generic sword. I'm going to go with just like the grenades. I wish there was a little bit of coloring detail to it, but it's not bad. Of course, we have a knife, all black, so it can be nice and stealth, and it goes in his sheath on the side. You'd think it would go in really easily, but apparently not. Let's see if it goes. There we go. No. Alright, so my knife isn't going in very well. Alright, so that's not necessarily good. So that's a little bit of a flaw to the figure. You can see I'm trying to put the knife in. I go this way with the handle out. It doesn't go in. The handle back, it doesn't seem to want to go in either. So I'm going to go with a slight flaw on that. The knife is sticking out, which is not necessarily a good thing. It kind of looks a little stupid, to be honest. So maybe it'll go in better after a while if I play around with it. But if anyone else has trouble with their knife, let me know. Alright, since he's supposed to be a stealth ops guy, we've got a futuristic gun with a silencer. Let's see how well it goes into his hand. Oh, that was actually really easy to get in the hand. I don't know why. It seems really weird to have Snake Eyes with a gun. Don't know why. I always kind of considered them like swords. I really would rather have had two swords with him. Alright, so the silencer comes off pretty easily. Let's go with that in the belt. That slides in his side. That goes in really easy, and the gun itself goes in really easy. So that works out well. For some reason, the sword, or the knife, doesn't want to go in. Go in your home. Why aren't you going in your home? Alright, so that's kind of a bummer. Alright, and finally, we've got a machine gun. Futuristic machine gun. That this also looks like it could probably go onto his side. And his backpack if you want. Alright, so that's easily in his hands, no problem at all. There's a peg, so since there's a peg, I'm going to go with, you can put it in his backpack where the sword is. Let's see if my theory works. Yep. So instead of putting the sword back there, the sword sheath, you can put the gun and then I guess maybe put the sword on the gun, which is a little stupid looking. I think I would rather have had it had two holes on either side, so you could put the sword holster on one, and then the machine gun on the other. That probably would have been a better decision. The backpack keeps on popping off too, as I'm playing around with it, and so overall not bad though. Like, it's a cool figure. It's a really, really cool figure, and I'm sure we can do lots of display and interesting photos with it. Again, my issues are, I wish there was a second hole in the backpack so that you could do the sword sheath on one and then the gun on the other side. And then the knife isn't going in as it should, which is, of course, an issue there and a little bit of a little negative overall. But, like, detail's pretty solid. The coloring's really good. I actually think the detail's really, really good. The extras are pretty solid. So far, it seems like the ongoing theme is that the hands are a little fiddly to get some of these weapons in. But other than that, it's pretty solid. So Snake Eyes, I'm giving it a thumbs up. Like, if you're a fan of Snake Eyes, it's a cool figure. Definitely display worthy and nice addition to G.I. Joe. So I'm liking it. I appreciate Hasbro for hooking me up with it. Some minor things, nothing major that would say run away, but just really, really minor issues that are not spoilers. They're not causing me to really hate the figure at all. So yeah, I think overall pretty cool. Very happy. My whatever 6-7-year-old self is very happy with the figure. Some good details, some good extras. So overall, some pretty cool stuff. So you can go get this in stores now. We'll have links beneath this video where you can purchase your own. Some might be affiliate links, so we'll get a small percentage of that. If I do that, you help support our site, though. So thank you. Speaking of support, I want to thank Hasbro for hooking us up with the review copy. We appreciate it, and thank you for watching. Now, if you are into G.I. Joe Classified, G.I. Joe in general, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep playing with your toys, and yo Joe. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.